It ain't no outer space. All the other planets, bull, okay?
There's a lot of people that have different ideas on what the flat earth is, but one thing we all agree on is that we don't live on a spinning ball flying through infinite space.
Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, gyrating? No, I'm pretty rock solid.
Oh my. Now, this discovery that the world is round was made published in 1540. Now, I'm concerned, it was Copernicus. I'm concerned it might have been 1530, but it was about then. It was in the 16th century that the Earth was shown to be a ball. But it was known to be a ball by a lot of other people before Copernicus in the Western world, what we now call the Western world, Western Hemisphere. The ancient Greeks noticed that from time to time, the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. This is a lunar eclipse.
What's a lunar eclipse? If your face is the brilliant sun.
Thank you.
And this is Earth, and the moon is over here. The sun is always casting Earth's shadow into space. It's always there no matter what.
Right.
Obviously, okay? It's just a shadow.
It's a shadow.
The moon
It's just
occasionally...
a shadow shining on blackness.
Yeah, a shadow in darkness.
A shadow in darkness.
So the moon occasionally passes through that shadow. And if you see the shape of Earth's shadow on the moon, it is always round. Always round. If Earth were flat, sometimes you get like a flat shadow.
Right.
We've never seen a flat shadow.
Right.
In fact, it is a segment of a arc of a circle, no matter the orientation of the moon and the sun. And the only thing that makes a perfectly circular shadow
would be something that's perfectly circular.
Perfectly spherical.
Spherical. Right.
Yes. So the only thing that makes a perfect circle shadow every single time is a perfect sphere.
Right.
Okay? No matter what angle
matter
you
where
shine.
you're shining.
Whereas a disc, it would only make a perfect circle if you lined it that way.
Right.
And then
you have to look at the face of the disc in order to get the circle.
The circle. If
any
other
angle,
you get other shapes.
something of another
The
shape.
Greeks knew this.
Right.
All the lunar eclipses they said, oh my gosh, we must be in a round Earth. This is thousands of years.
Before
2,000 years
Columbus.
before Columbus. Exactly.
We ain't go to the moon in 69, 2017, 2018, forever more. We ain't going to the mother moon. Why, people? You can't land on the moon. The moon is a mother light.
If you'd like, look at pictures from space, where you see the Earth as a sphere. Those pictures are not faked, and I'll tell you just, if nothing else, here's why you can tell they're not faked. Just to create the paperwork that NASA has created, for NASA in this one case, just the paperwork to send anything out in space, to send people into orbit or to send them to the moon, that amount of paperwork would make faking it prohibitively expensive. No one could afford to generate that much documentation.
The flat Earth would be a circular flat area surrounded by a field that is known as Antarctica.
This white rim around the outside, a lot of people refer to it as the ice wall.
If the Earth was not a ball shape, but was instead a flat disk, like this plate, well, with the right density and thickness, living in the middle could feel pretty normal. But as you moved toward the edge, gravity on a disk Earth would slightly skew, pushing at a greater and greater angle back toward the center. My friend Nick from Yeti Dynamics put together this great simulation. The person and buildings obviously aren't to scale, but check out how such increasingly diagonal gravity would work. Although this is a flat disk, it would feel to a runner headed toward the edge like they were fighting to climb up a steeper and steeper hill. The building foundations behind the runner reflect how you would have to build structures closer and closer to the edge so that people living in them always felt like down was at right angles to the floor, the way we feel it on our big round Earth. Now, as you approach the edge, things would get scary. Remember, this is a flat Earth, but it would feel like a sheer drop-off. What's really cool is that contrary to the don't fall off the edge fear, on a flat world, because of gravity, the scary risk would actually be falling away from the edge and rolling all the way back to the center. Once you stepped over the edge, instead of falling off into space, you'd be able to relax. It would be a nice, level place.
Shaquille O'Neal is apparently a flat earther. When asked on his podcast, The Big Podcast with Shaq, about Kyrie Irving's recent comments that the earth is flat, the former NBA big man said, quote, "It's true. The earth is flat. The reasoning behind O'Neal's earth is flat claim? He drives from Florida to California all the time, and that he doesn't go up and down at a 360-degree angle because it's flat." During his rant, he posed the question, "Have you looked at all the buildings outside?" while rejecting the idea that China is under us, in which he says it's not.
It's not okay to think that the earth is flat. This is not a viable argument. I have friends who have been on the International Space Station. They have orbited the Earth once every 90 minutes. One of the things you can see yourself with a pair of binoculars is if you actually go out to a lake and there are boats on that lake, the farther away a boat is, the more the bottom of the boat will disappear and you'll basically just see the mast of the boat. And as a boat goes farther and farther away, the last thing you will see is the very top of the mast of that boat. And that's because the boat is actually going over the horizon that's curved. And that means that as it goes farther and farther away, you see less and less of the bottom of it and more of the top of that. You can see that with binoculars. By an ocean, by a lake. It's really easy.
Everybody watches newscasts. You all use mobile phones. You all see airplanes fly around. You all go to see Ed Sheeran in concert one day in London, another day in Melbourne, Australia. This all depends on our fundamental understanding of the size of the Earth and its shape with extraordinary precision.
Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that an Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.